Okay, Olivia, let's move on to the reading portion of the lesson. Okay, so today we're looking at skimming for main idea, and we're going to increase our reading speed with using the paragraph structure. Okay? Okay. So actually, we're going to increase the reading efficiency. If you remember, the reading efficiency is the speed we are reading and how much we understand, our comprehension level. So we want to read faster and keep the comprehension level at the same level or higher, right? So
Right.
we're going to skim for main ideas. Okay, so Olivia, have you ever seen the hamburger as a paragraph?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, great. So you know that the hamburger buns, what are they?
They are the introduction, supporting, and conclusion. And so the hamburger bun, the top one is the introduction, the bottom one's the conclusion, and all the stuff in the middle is the supporting evidence or reasoning.
Excellent. And so where's the main idea?
Main idea is usually in the introduction or the
Excellent.
conclusion.
Yeah, excellent. Similar ideas, but different words, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. You are excellent at
Mm.
paragraph structure. So, how do you think this would help your reading speed?
I think sometimes the author just puts the main idea in the first sentence or the last sentence, and all the middle is supporting. So if you really just want to know the main idea of a paragraph, then you can just read the first and last sentence.
Exactly. So, that's what we're going to do today. So, we're going to look at how this can help us, and then we'll do a little bit of practice. So, as an example, I have a paragraph here. Let me move this down a little bit. Okay.
Mm.
Now, we're just going to prove what you just said. Do we need the middle to get the main idea? So I'll give you a few seconds to read this
Mm-hmm.
paragraph, even though the middle is missing. Can you still get the main idea from this?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. What would you say is the main idea from here?
I'd say that fairy tales is relevant for all ages because they teach us lessons that can help us later on in life.
Excellent, perfect. We can see that just from the first and the last sentence, so we don't even need the middle to get the main idea, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
if we look at the next slide, here is the entire paragraph. You can see we're talking about backpacks for laptop bag, bedtime stories, kissing frogs, happily ever after, and movies that we watch now, right? But all of this supports the main idea, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if we're trying to speed read, we basically just need the topic and conclusion sentences, right? Now,
Right.
this one was a Lexile range of approximately 1010 to 1200. So let's try one at a higher level. Oops, sorry. This one's about 1400 to 1600, which puts us around grade 8 or 9 for an average reader. Let me move this for you and we'll try the same thing.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, what do you think? Can you get the main idea from only the topic and conclusion sentence?
Yeah. Most likely, I'd say that the main idea is fairy tales stay with us beyond our childhood because they prepare us for problems that we could face later on in life in
Exactly.
like a simple way. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. So this is easy, right?
Hmm.
Um, let's go through. Here's the entire paragraph. You can see it's similar to the one before, just at a higher level. But again, you only need the two sentences. Um, let's now try, let's now try a more difficult idea here. So
Okay.
that's at the paragraph level. As you know, in class, you have some difficult texts sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, geology is not exactly exciting.
Yeah.
So, how can you use skimming to get through a passage like this really fast and know what the topic is about still? So, we're going to look at this by reading only the first and last sentence of every paragraph, and we can summarize a little bit just from there. And I
Mm-hmm.
want to talk in particular about the structure here. So if we just focus on those sentences where I've underlined the first few letters,
Mm-hmm.
what do we see?
Um, you see that the main idea of each paragraph is presented in
Mhm,
small, different, with just within two sentences.
sure.
Yeah.
So from the first paragraph, what idea do you get about the subject of geology?
It is the scientific study of Earth,
Mhm,
and it's divided into two categories, which is physical and historical geology.
exactly. Okay. And if we just glance at the next two paragraphs, what do you
Hmm.
see already?
I see that the author is already going deeper into the concept of physical and historical geology, and they're exploring it way
E-
more. Yeah.
Exactly. So you know right away what the passage is going to tell you. You're going
Hmm.
to learn about physical geology and historical geology. Now, if we read the first and last sentences in their entirety, so just the first and last, um, what do you learn?
From the second paragraph, I
Mhm.
learned that physical geology is it's about the processes that are occurring on or below the surface of the earth and the materials that are included in this process. And I learned that there are seismologists who use instruments to help know more about the earthquakes or volcanic eruptions.
Exactly. Perfect. Now let me ask you a question. Seismologists, that's a bit difficult. Have you ever heard that before?
No, I have not.
No. Okay, so let's use this as a learning opportunity.
Mhm.
When you encounter a word you don't know, usually in these academic type texts, the sentence is going to tell you the answer or the paragraph. So
Right.
if we just start looking around those two sentences, because we know that the topic and the conclusion sentence somewhat mirror each other, just
Hmm.
with different words. So we know the processes occurring on or below the surface of the earth. So what is that? The earth moving, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Earth movement.
And we know that IST What is IST at the end of a sentence? What does that signify?
It usually means a profession.
Yes, so this is a person working in the profession of seismology, but we
Hmm.
still need to figure out what seismology is. Now, we know this person. What do they do?
They use instruments to monitor and predict earthquakes and volcanic eruptions.
Exactly, movements of the earth.
Hmm.
So, seismologists, now you know.
Yeah.
So, it's the magic of vocabulary and context. Okay, now if we move on to the third paragraph, sorry,
Hmm.
just looking at the first sentence and the last sentence, what do you think?
Uh, the main idea would probably be historical geology is about the physical and biological chronological events of Earth that have taken place, and that plate tectonics
Mhm,
help these seismologists to figure out the details of the changing configuration of the continents and oceans.
mhm. Again, we have movement, right? Movement of the earth. Right. So we see some similar themes throughout this, right?
Yeah.
So if we were to say the main idea of the entire three paragraphs, we might include the two categories as well as the processes, the movement of the earth,
Mm-hmm.
seismologists, and the chronology, right?
Yeah.
And if we weren't talking about this, how fast do you think you would understand those ideas?
Probably not very fast.
No?
I mean, if I didn't know the like process of reading only the first and last sentence, I
Hmm.
would probably have to read the whole thing and then I might get confused in the process and I would have to reread it and I get confused, yeah.
Oh, excellent. Okay, yeah, that's true because you might get lost in the details.
Hmm.
So this is one of the first rules, the first premises of speed reading. The way to not lose yourself in all the details is to just focus on the main ideas, which is the topic sentence and reading the conclusion sentence. So
Hmm.
let's try this um, with one more.
Okay.
And okay, we only have two paragraphs, so this is a bit easier.
Hmm.
Actually, I'm going to have to cut that. Sorry. Um, let's, I just realized we're going to run out of time. I'm going to have to cut that and just say, okay,
Okay.
Olivia, that has been great. And let me show you the optional activities for homework.
Hmm.
There is one article about the grocery bag. We have another one about fantasy stories, The Hobbit and Chronicles of Narnia. And there is Batman. So I'd like you to try this strategy of using the main idea and conclusion sentences to get the
Hmm.
main idea as fast as possible.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Excellent. Okay.
Okay.
Stop. Stop recording.